If you haven't silenced your telephone, would you please do that? So I am delighted to introduce and to welcome Jacob Sweet. Jacob is the Associate Director of Recruitment. When you read your Timberline, he had another title. He has just had an advancement, so congratulations, Jacob. Jacob is a 2016 graduate of Manchester, and he is, he's primary counselor for the early college experience. So we'll hear about his work in admissions, but especially his experiences as lead counselor for the early college experience. It's a program, and he'll tell us much more about that, allowing high school students to earn college credits by enrolling in Manchester courses. And I look forward to hearing from you. Hear a lot more about that, and also how students are allowed to explore their particular areas of interest.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jacob.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm glad that you're here this evening to hear about Manchester, and I understand this is a lot of what this time together is, but I'm excited to have been invited and here to be able to share some of my work and what I do in the admissions office. Can everyone hear me okay with the microphone and stuff? Okay, perfect. So, like she said, I'm Jacob Sweet, now the new Associate Director of Recruitment. So if you're familiar with Melissa West, my former boss, I replaced her in admissions. So a lot of shoes to fill as she moved over to financial aid. So I'm honored and grateful for this new role and to do the work that we do in admissions as well. So I have to wear a lot of different hats in admissions, and one of the many things that I do is our early college experience program. I started in admissions in August of 2017, so not too long after I graduated from Manchester in 2016. I studied journalism and sport management during my time at Manchester, so I did journalism for about a year or a little bit more before just missing Manchester, missing being in this town and being around campus. So came back, was an admissions counselor, have had a few different titles since then, with my new one again as the Associate Director of Recruitment. So my main job now is to oversee our admissions counselors who do the hard work of finding students, traveling on the road, working with students step by step to get them enrolled and to be students at Manchester and to experience what we all experienced, or many of us experienced as students at Manchester as well. So some of the other things I get to do, I've recruited Allen County for many years. This is my 6th year working with the Fort Wayne City of Fort Wayne and Allen County as well, and I oversee our Spartan Ambassadors, which is our campus tour guides. They're some of my favorite people to work with and on campus, as they play a big role in showing families campus and talking about their experience as well, and a number of other really important things as well. But the reason I'm here this evening is to talk about our Manchester early college experience. I did bring some different materials, some goodies, and also just some information about early college as well for you to share with anyone that you think would be interested in learning more and maybe even enrolling and taking some courses with us at Manchester as well. So I wanted to give you some history first of kind of where this idea of the early college experience program came from. So it originated as the Manchester Academy, and it served the purpose very much of what early college is today, but we made some different changes to help kind of make the early college experience program more attainable, have more of a structure to it, and certainly provide more opportunities for students as well. So Manchester Academy kind of ended in fall of 2023, and then the early college experience kind of started that next spring. Some of the difference of the programs are kind of the bullet points underneath. The Manchester Academy did require fees, so students were paying like a facilities fee to take our courses on campus. It was all $85 a credit hour. It was mainly on campus, so limiting the ability for students to take courses, and I'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like. And then in my eyes, there wasn't a huge structure of courses. We kind of basically linked out the course catalog, or a really long list of courses, and hoped students were kind of going to find what they wanted, and maybe not kind of providing specifically, here are the courses that are going to help give you the credit that you're looking for to help you kind of proceed through your college credits and experience that way. So I was kind of given one of my many hats of leading early college in spring of 24. We had a committee of people put together, and we said we need to make some changes to kind of, again, make the early college experience just kind of flow a little bit better. So one, we changed the name from Manchester Academy to the Manchester Early College Experience Program. We changed the pricing structure to add $50 a credit hour and online experiences, not just in-person experiences. So the in-person did keep that $85 a credit hour for the in-person structure. We eliminated fees, so students are not paying any fees to take our courses as part of the early college experience, and we put what I would call actual classes to attract them. And I'll show you a list of the many classes that students have taken, but it's certainly not the full list, and kind of explain a little bit more about what I mean by actual courses that kind of help map them through a college experience that way. I want to just give you some background. You're probably familiar with these terms, maybe through family members that are in school currently, but kind of the difference of what a dual credit is to a dual enrollment. And this is a huge push just by colleges and universities, the state of Indiana, the education system, all of those types of things. But wanted to kind of just go over these two important roles with you. And the first one is dual credit. So essentially what that is, and probably the more known term, is that a class is certified by the institution, so in this case by Manchester, and taught by a teacher at a high school. And so that, again, is probably the more common term, and what we see most students doing is they're taking a college course at their high school. And so that's going to then be dual credit for both high school and for colleges. And then the other aspect is dual enrollment. So this would be an MU class on campus or in person, on campus or online, that is taught by a Manchester faculty member. And so that's kind of the difference there between those two terms. And I'll kind of tie that together about how we kind of honor those two areas as well. So kind of based on what I could add comfortably on a PowerPoint slide, but this is just a few of the courses that we have enrolled students in that are strictly high school students taking Manchester courses. So we have the core curriculum, the liberal arts curriculum at Manchester, which goes alongside electives and then the major and any minors that a student is doing at Manchester. And so what we wanted to do is make sure we are offering courses that essentially a student could say, yep, did that before I even got there. I've completed that part of the core, and I don't need to do that as a student at Manchester. And so students at Manchester have a communications credit, so that's why we've provided the Foundations of Human Communication. They're taking a first-year writing seminar. There's a social science credit. There's other kind of aspects of major requirements in here if you're an education student or a psychology student as well. One opportunity a couple years ago we opened up, and thanks to Tim Reed, our chair of our music program, is he said, yeah, I want high school students to be part of our ensembles. And so that's another opportunity that we provided to students. So we've had a student participate in our jazz ensemble on campus. And so actually just saw them participating with the pep band at the last basketball game. So really cool to see that in action as well. And the other ensembles are available as well. And then you're probably very familiar with the medical practicum option led by Dr. Osborne, certainly one of our best at Manchester. So he has a student right now that is doing the medical practicum. He is with them, yes. And so that's a really cool opportunity. And so I was really excited to work with that student. So that's awesome. And then we've had some others travel with our sports medicine, our exercise science program, and do our international sports medicine study away opportunity as well. So, you know, some of them are in the classroom. We do have some students that are coming to campus and doing that. Majority are online, and some are traveling and getting that firsthand experience. So really cool to kind of see just the diversity of courses and what students are kind of selecting to do as well. And a couple bullet points there on the side. I was counting kind of just the data and stuff that we've collected. We have a Manchester high school student. After this spring is completed, will have done 18 courses with us before they've even started at MU. And they plan to go to MU, but they have enrolled and will complete 18 courses. And so a really bright kid, he's taking organic chemistry alongside college students. I don't want to be anywhere near organic chemistry, let alone as a high school student alongside college students, but he's managing it and doing a great job. And so all of this credit is, of course, transferable then to Manchester. Coming in, primarily looking at core requirements, could knock out a major course, but it is coming in as credit to Manchester. So the idea is to lay that platform for students to be able to get that head start. But we also know that many of our other higher education friends are in this game with us, and so we're taking that credit from those schools as well. So a combination is really helping students move ahead in their college experience as well. Kind of a big push by Dr. Young as she's was becoming president and kind of evaluating our early college experience program is how can we have a structure and call it a pathway for students to say, I'm going to do this my junior year of high school. I'm going to complete anywhere between the 30 to 34 credits given, and I'm going to have a head start of almost 2 years in a specific area, many being very popular programs that we see at Manchester: exercise science, health science in general, our business programs, nursing is of course taking off and very popular. So this is allowing students to do a pathway and knock out many of those courses that are part of that major. And so it's a combination of major and a combination of kind of core classes as well. So I've got some examples of the pathways as well. We do provide 8 as listed up here. So feel free to grab a copy or take a picture as well, kind of depending on family and friends and where they're kind of at in their potentially secondary options as well. Yeah. Oh, boy. So I think you're asking if students just won't have to come to actual college anymore? Yeah. Yeah. So he's kind of asking about kind of the timeline and graduating maybe a little bit sooner and how that registration looks. So definitely, and that's the way that it's kind of turning as students are coming in with anywhere from an associate's degree in high school. They could do the Indiana College Core, which provides them 60 credits that will be transferable to all publics and many private schools around the state as well. So yes, it's going to continue. I think Manchester's going to make sure that there's still going to be some kind of a spin on what makes us special for sure, but we want to honor, of course, what students have already done and not make them start over and do a class they've already done, because they more than likely maybe wouldn't pick us then as a college if we have to kind of say, well, you've done this, but it maybe just wasn't good enough for what we are looking for. So we've done a good job at making sure that our credits are transferable to, for students to have when they come in, if they take our courses, of course, but then credits that they're getting from other institutions as well. Yeah. Wanted to highlight some of our partners as well. So it's not always just a student finds the application or is given the application to the Manchester Early College Experience and applies and selects that they're going to take the communications course, and then I work with them and enroll them and send them all the things that they need. We've also expanded our program to work with these different partners in the area, our secondary partners, to provide opportunities for their students as well. So right here in town, we provide the dual credit environmental studies course for Manchester High School. So I think we're on our second year of that partnership. We did a business partnership for dual credit with Peru High School. I believe it was just 1 year, not currently active. We do have a partnership with the Kokomo Career Center to provide some exercise science dual credit programs for them. So they did a course in the fall, and then this year for the spring, we're providing them practicum credit. So they're in the field doing things in the area of exercise science that they're most passionate and excited about. So a really cool opportunity there. Of course, Heartland Career Center just down the road as well. We've partnered with them for a couple years to provide some opportunities in their nursing pathway, so anatomy and human physiology and some of those courses as well. And then Impact Institute, which is in Kendallville, and they serve that area and in a few counties around there. And so we're providing our medical terminology course for them. And many of those students are getting their CNA and looking at a nursing career as well. So the first three are a dual credit, and so we've kind of said, yes, that the teacher can teach that material, and then they are teaching their students within that school system. And then Heartland is actually getting, their students are being taught by our MU faculty at Heartland, typically online, or then somebody is kind of helping kind of do the lab with them there on their campus. And then Impact is taking our online medical terminology class. So sponsored and provided by Manchester, taught by our faculty member. And so again, there's just a lot of ways that this connects for the dual credit and then for the dual enrollment opportunities as well. So again, spring of 2024, we changed the name and kind of just tweaked our requirements and kind of what we were looking for and what we wanted to do with this program. So a lot of people played a lot of roles in making this what it is today. And so very, very thankful that many of them went alongside and helped again strengthen this program. So we've had roughly 300 applications come through for students to participate in our early college experience program. And so those are applications from our school district friends and then individual students that have either been getting the communication and say, I want to do this, I want to go to Manchester anyways, and they're giving me an opportunity to get a head start, or our faculty have been communicating with them as prospective students when they come and visit, or our admissions counselors have been pushing it out as well. And so 23 have enrolled at Manchester from our early college experience program. Thinking, 323, what's the difference there and kind of that number? But in a lot of ways, when you offer dual credit and dual enrollment, a lot of students might be doing it, and unfortunately, they just don't always come to that college. They can take that credit a lot of the times and go to a different institution, but I think 23 is a pretty strong number, considering where the program has come over the last few years. And I like to believe that if we didn't have this program, maybe those 23 don't end up at Manchester. So I think, of course, it's a win and very successful there. As well. We do have 6 states that have been represented on our early college experience program. So students being able to do our online portion, which was kind of the big expansion again from the Manchester Academy to the early college experience. And so our application and information about early college is getting sent out nationwide. And so we've had students pick up this opportunity and do this, representing 6 different states across the U.S. We do ask that a student does have a 3.0 or higher in high school and is junior or senior standing. What I would say, though, is if you're thinking, I know some people, maybe they don't fit that quite GPA requirement, still have them apply. What I've tried to put in place is some ways to say, okay, I feel like in some ways 3.0 is pretty strong. We admit students at a 2.5 as an undergraduate GPA, and so I think we should be allowing more students to have this opportunity to do early college, get a taste of college, get a taste of it potentially at Manchester, and just open the doors for more students as well. So definitely, yes, that 3.0 is there and on our website and on our brochures, but there's always an opportunity, of course, for them to still apply, and we have a further conversation about what that looks like. We do require, of course, a high school transcript to be able to see that GPA and the coursework. We don't require any test scores. There is a parent permission form that automatically gets sent out to a student who applies, so we can make sure to get that permission from them. And then we do ask that you take no more than 2 courses, typically at a time, somewhere around the 100 and 200 level area as well. So kind of just our general requirements for that program as well. What I will do as the early college experience program counselor as well is to make sure that the student is not going to double take a course they're already getting credit for. So as a student applies for early college, I will, look at the transcript first, look at what they've maybe said I want to take, and maybe they say I want to take the communications course. Well, they might be getting some kind of reading, writing, some kind of other course, or a public speaking, or some kind of other dual credit that they're taking maybe from another institution through their high school, and we're going to bring that in as credit already. So I don't want them to do that work and then not get the credit for it because they're already getting it. So we will talk through that. Hey, what about this? I don't know that you doesn't look like you're getting credit for this. I want to make sure that maybe you take this course instead, so you're getting that part of the credit that you're not getting with this other course as well. And just kind of give you an idea of how we've kind of sold our program and make sure that people know about it. So we have a recruiting system, a CRM that we use as part of our admissions office. And so emails go out roughly about every 10 days to thousands and thousands and thousands of students that we have in our recruiting system that we use, just saying, hey, this is an opportunity, this is what this means, go to our website and certainly learn a little bit more about that. All prospective students who visit campus, they get a visit bag with information already, and so we make sure that early college experience information is in there as well. So they're taking it home, parents are looking at it, and of course we encourage our admissions counselors to always be talking about this program. We did a large mailing to roughly about 38 school systems, some of the Elkhart area, the Fort Wayne area, and of course our close local friend school systems here as well, just saying, hey, this program is available. Here's things that you can share with them. Here's things that you can post around your school as well. And so that's kind of the opportunities there that we wanted to make sure that they knew as well. And then we also encourage our counselors to not only talk about early college, but to say, okay, you're interested in business. Here is that 2-year pathway. Even if you're a senior, there's still a way to connect to make sure that you're taking maybe a couple courses with us in this field of interest that you have that will then come in as credit. So trying to hook them as much as possible on this journey of them finding out college and what's best for them as well. Is there a Wi-Fi at all? Guest Wi-Fi at all? So we have a beautiful new website as well if you've not been to manchester.edu in a while. But one thing you can always share with anyone, especially after our time here together, that you think, oh, this could be a really good opportunity for them, or just as you're curious to see certainly what's being offered as well, is just to visit our website. It's put together really well in terms of, what's required, what's available, what do I need to get this opportunity started as well. So application requirements there on the side, the pricing, also there on the side, just underneath that, just some general information about the program there on the left side as well. One thing I like to sell to students, especially ones that are doing an on-campus experience, is that you can experience campus just like a college student can. You can go to the games, you can use the fitness center, you can get a Manchester ID that would allow you to do those things. Heck, you could even purchase a meal plan and eat in Heist Commons and Sisters Cafe and all those different things. And so again, this is a recruiting tool, and my job is to recruit and to get students excited and thinking about Manchester. And so we feel that this is a good way for them to really have that experience and to communicate with all of those important offices that we have on campus as well. Talks a little bit about how that will transfer in as part of their degree. And then down here is information about each of those pathways that I was mentioning. And so the handouts that I brought can also be found digitally on our Early College Experience website as well. So you can find information about the business pathway, education, exercise science, the general core. There's the health science, the human services, the nursing pathway, and then the psychology pathway as well. some information there on the right as well that just talks a little bit more about the application. And then this breaks down here on the other side the individual classes that students are able to take as well. So again, that's where we see the biggest chunk of students doing our early college experience program is individual classes that students kind of select as they're applying to the early college experience program, or through our partnerships with our school districts that I mentioned earlier as well. And a little plug here as well, our summer courses that we're offering high school students were just put on this morning as well. So yeah, something else to kind of talk with family and friends about as well. Yeah, good question. So he was asking about classes that maybe aren't posted, but I have an interest in taking a class in a certain area, and if and how or when those would be posted as well. So what we try to do again is to say these are classes that are available that we think would be good for high school students, that the experience would be good for them as well, and it's connecting them to help them kind of further along their credits and getting started on their education at Manchester. Really, students have access to really any class that they're thinking about, or they could reach out to me and say, hey, I think I want to take a sociology class, or I want to take a peace studies course or something like that, but I don't see anything listed. My job as their admissions counselor in this area is to work with those faculty members, see what's available, see what they're able to do, and then connect that with them as best that I can as well. But these are kind of what you would call like the pre-approved courses and those things through our academic affairs office, and just what we think would be a really good fit for high school students to take as well. But yes, opportunities to take other courses is available. Yeah.
How does it work when the high school teachers are teaching a Manchester course?
Yep, so essentially our faculty is just approving the content, and then the high school teacher is teaching that content to their students. And so it's the main way that you would make it a dual credit opportunity. Yeah. Sir?
Does all of this happen on the Manchester campus, or does the Fort Wayne campus play into this in some way?
Great question, great question. So this is going to be almost 99% North Manchester class offerings. We've had some high school students that have done some summer lab work with some of our faculty in Fort Wayne as well. That's not really publicized, but definitely something many of our faculty would always be open to, is an opportunity to host a student over the summer, do some research and lab work with them as well. So we've had, I can think of one right now, at least, that has done some research in Fort Wayne, but nothing official is offered at our Fort Wayne campus. Basically, again, 99% through North Manchester. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's kind of asking just about kind of the legitimacy of doing a program kind of fast, and it's kind of different than maybe how it used to be. So to be honest with you, I don't know if employers are thinking 1 year to 4 years or 2 years when it comes to a graduate program. I would imagine we wouldn't attempt anything like we do if we knew it wasn't going to be good for the market. It wasn't going to be something that employers are looking for, but I don't know that I have a ton of kind of information exactly on that. What we are seeing though from our side, from admissions, students want it to be cheaper and students want to be done quicker. And that's just the product in the customers that we have today now in 2026 and the students that we are working with. Obviously, the news and the media and the government and things are not helping encouraging the no student loans and debt is bad and those types of things. And so we're trying to do a good job of always keeping in mind the value of college. It is still important. It's still beneficial. It'll still give you the best life possible to go to college and have that degree. And I think a really good life if you pick Manchester specifically, of course. But I'm not sure exactly on if an employer is saying, ooh, I'm not sure if you have enough of what we need. But I'm confident that what we're providing is certainly the best. Yeah. Other stuff. Yeah.
I wonder how this works from a faculty standpoint. Are the courses that are offered are courses that are actually being taught on campus, and this is one more student? Or how are the courses staffed on the campus?
Yeah, great question, great question. So she was asking kind of how the classes are staffed and if it's a separate section than maybe what's being offered for undergrad students. So we want the high school student to experience the classes with the college students. So there isn't typically another section. It's the section that's being offered, and the high school student is just alongside the college students in that class. The first year writing seminar course that we've offered for several years now, there was a separate section for them a few times, and I think it's maybe something we're offering in the spring as well. And I think specifically for that faculty member, it's just to make sure that they're getting the attention they need as they're learning to write, maybe at the college level, and just getting those questions answered, office hours, those types of things. But typically it's the section that's already being offered for undergrads, and we're just adding the high school student to that section.
Do you have much information about how that goes between a college student who's on campus
Sure.
taking coursework and here's a high school student in the same class? Does that interaction go fairly well? Are the issues that arise that way?
I've never heard of anything, so I'm gonna get, yeah. So is there any issues with college student and a high school student in the same class together? I've not heard of anything for sure. So and we have some of our best faculty that are teaching these courses as well. So I think that already provides such a great experience, whether you're a high school student or a college student as well. And yeah, I've not heard of anything as well. So the students that I know are doing on-campus experiences seem to really enjoy it, and they want to keep taking more. They want to be involved. I see them on campus as well. I saw one today, so really exciting. You know, you're a student there, but not quite. But you basically are. And like I said, one's going to complete around 18 classes before they even get started here. So. Won't be on campus long as a college student, I suppose, but getting an experience still in this way as well.
Along with some of the stuff that I was thinking too. It took me quite a while to get through Dr. Neiswander's anatomy class.
Sure. Yep.
I'm wondering if kids getting out taking this anatomy, if they're going to have the same kind of education that I have.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think so. I believe so. Yeah, that it's changing how classes are being offered, and it seems like it's being, of course, sped up and whatnot. But the value of how it's being taught is still there, for sure. Yeah. Can answer any questions about Manchester, or try to if you have any other questions. I know you've seen some of the big bosses maybe earlier in the year with President Young and stuff, but
I am curious how you did the anatomy course. with the Career Center, whether a faculty member is there with the lab or the students are being transported here.
Yep. So she was asking kind of how we do anatomy, and I believe that's the one that we do with Heartland, if I rack my brain correctly. So I think the classroom setting is a Manchester faculty member, and then they have, and usually probably kind of virtual in, and then they have somebody there kind of making sure the students are there and completing the coursework and those types of things. And then I believe they provide a staff member to do the anatomy lab with them, and then to make sure the lectures and the lab and everything are put together correctly and they're achieving those assignments as well. Sir?
What kind of numbers are we talking about as far as those that are in high school now also doing this in one way or one form or another? How many departments? I don't mean that I want to know the number, but generally, how
Sure.
many people get involved in this kind of program?
Yeah, great question. He was asking how many students get involved in our partnerships, or when the schools we partner with offer kind of these opportunities as well. Ballpark anywhere from 10 to 25 typically are participating from their schools or their career centers for these offerings as well. Yeah. And as I've been doing this and pretty much have processed all of these 300 or so applications that have come through, a lot of them, and I say there are 300 applications, but some students have maybe applied to do early college multiple times. We've processed 300 applications. It's not so much maybe 300 students, but roughly around that 280 are probably students, and some have applied multiple times to take other classes with us. And so there's been repeat names of students who are doing classes that we offer through their schools and through their career centers as well, especially when you offer an anatomy and then a physiology the next time around. Those are always kind of classes you take together or next to each other anyways, and so that's why a lot of those students certainly are the same. Yeah, I think they are, but yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Jacob, I think this is the last January that there will be a Jan term. So the travel courses will not be an option for students, or?
Yeah, so she's asking a little bit about the January term and the travel courses as well. So, recent announcement that the January term is going away. And what that means is students will not be taking the one class during the month of January. What is certainly not going to go away is traveling. It's going to have to be reimagined. It's going to have to be done at different times. The reason this is changing is so students are graduating sooner. And what I mean, like last year, graduation was Memorial Day weekend, right? And so as seniors are graduating and grad schools are starting, summer jobs are starting, employments are starting, we want to make sure that they're set up as good as possible to be able to do those things as soon as possible. Faculty are being asked to just reimagine when they would do a trip. So is it a fall break? Is it a spring break? And a lot of it is being pushed to summer. It'll be a May term instead of a Jan term opportunity. I did a Jan term trip when I was a student at Manchester. I took essentially what the international sports medicine type of class is today and had an amazing experience. But working in admissions, I realized that not all students were like me in terms where I could just, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna hop on a plane and go in January. I'm gonna miss a practice. I also ran cross country and track and field for the great Coach Cash Dollar there at Manchester as well. But a lot of students say, well, I don't know that I can miss my sport. I don't know that I can go right now when the school year is going on, even though this is kind of when it's planned out to be. Now the summer term, I think, is going to allow even more students to be able to do these opportunities. So yes, it's going away as we know it as Jan term, but other opportunities will be provided, and the summer term is going to be kind of the big opportunity there. Yeah. I don't think so. It's just going to move from what they would maybe do in January to a different time. Yeah. I don't think so. I think most of whatever needs to be offered will be offered in the fall or the spring. If there needs to be another section added, that's a possibility for sure. But I think the schedule is going to work out as well. Another big thing is most schools are on a different schedule than we are. So this will allow our spring to start a little bit sooner, again, allowing students to then travel in the summer. Faculty are smart, and they're coming up with all different ways to do, they're going to offer a class maybe in the fall, and then they're going to do some kind of a travel later on, or some kind of a break, or do something during the school year. So their students are certainly still going to have that opportunity to see the world, see the country, and do the great things that they're doing, for sure. Other stuff. Oh, no, I think I was finished with kind of talking about early college, and yeah, I hope that you'll kind of share what we're doing with this program, and the opportunities and the offerings that we have as well. So I do have some brochures that talk specifically about the program that you can take, some bookmarks, my business cards as well, some pens, and kind of our main admissions brochure as well that just talks about all the opportunities that students are presented with and have the opportunity to do, from esports to music to athletics, to our early college experience program, to experimental learning and internships, and all the things that are being put in place right now as well. Manchester Online is an opportunity that's coming about as well, reaching more people across the country and offering our education as well. So I think what could happen for early college, if it would feed in and have the opportunities through the Manchester Online, that there might even be more classes available for students that way as well. Yeah. A master's in higher education, or in higher ed? Just in any program, or which one specifically? Sure. So like, would a high school students be able to get some kind of a grad program through this as well? Opportunity? Yeah. We've not really thought that far ahead. Some of the pathways and things that we came up with that we thought would be a good idea, not just because they're some of our most popular programs that we see students coming in and doing, but kind of one thing that I was always kind of pressing as we were expanding this program is, let's do pathways, and let's offer courses that could end in a graduate program at the end. So if they do our health science pathway, we have all of our programs in Fort Wayne, in our health science opportunities. This would give students the opportunity to get a head start on that, and essentially get to our Masters of Athletic Training, or pharmacogenomics, or nutrigenomics, or pharmacy, or physical therapy sooner than maybe somebody else. And so our business pathway, good example with the MBA as well. So it's already a dual degree program, the 2 degrees during your time there as a student. But this would even hopefully kind of help a student kind of even advance further through that sooner and even quicker as well. So we've thought through that a little bit, but nothing too much more specific than that. Yeah.
When Leon Lederer was here, he talked about the consortium of universities surrounding Fort Wayne that are working at bringing students into any of the universities, students who probably wouldn't have gone to college. Can you tell me, is that part of this early college experience?
Yes. A lot of Leon's work, especially a lot of that was with Fort Wayne Community Schools as well, and kind of helping fast track their students to an opportunity with many of the local colleges as well. So I believe that partnership offers like free dual credit, which we already do. We don't charge for the dual credit partnerships that we have with our schools. We do charge for the dual enrollment. And again, that's where a student is taking classes with our faculty. The dual credit is the teacher at a high school is being certified by Manchester to offer and teach that course as well. Early college could play a role in maybe providing opportunities for those high schools as well. There's been some conversations with other school districts about what that could look like as well. So yeah, excited to be in that consortium. Again, I've recruited Allen County for many years, and so to partner with those schools in that area, huge school system, especially Fort Wayne Community, a huge school system with a lot of amazing students that, yeah, I hope will give Manchester a chance. So, yeah. And we've tried to do more partnerships as well with Ivy Techs and other community colleges, as well as students start off there out of high school to get an associate's degree. How can we help kind of funnel them into our programs based on what they've already accomplished and what their goals are as well. So really trying to find students in every nook and cranny that's out there to help them experience Manchester as well.
About what percent of students who have taken these courses actually go on to enroll at Manchester?
Yeah, percentages I don't know, but we've had about 23 that have done it from about 300 applications that we've had come through. Yeah, I can't do that math in my head very quick, but that's kind of the raw numbers there. Yeah. Yeah, always the goal for sure. Will they go on and graduate from Manchester was the question. Always the goal for sure. Yeah, I'm confident that they will and have a good experience for sure. Yeah. In the summer term, kind of a last point, unless there's any questions, is what we've seen kind of the most students participating is in the summer. We have a lot of faculty that do a good job, especially in our exercise science program, for example, where they're pushing out kind of like their medical terminology, their intro classes in those areas to help students kind of get a taste of that before they get started and they get here. And so they've kind of checked kind of off those kind of introductory, entry-level courses within their major, and then they can jump in sooner to the other courses in the classroom with our great faculty to get started on that. So we see a lot of students doing stuff in the summer to kind of get started, and it keeps them hooked on Manchester as well, which I think is key to recruiting students and keeping them excited and getting them here in August as well. Any final questions at all? Well, thank you. Thank you very much for hearing my presentation about early college and letting me be here.
Thank you, Jacob.
Feel free to grab some stuff as well.